Good morning. Paul and Amy here, and we're doing something a little bit different today. We are going to kind of take you through our experience taking the Brightline train from Orlando to Miami. We've got our Icon cruise that we were boarding today, and we decided to take the train down. And this is something that could be handy for you if you are doing a land and sea vacation and you are taking a cruise as part of that vacation out of one of the cruise ports that you can take a Brightline to,
Yep.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
And soon to be Port Canaveral as well.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely a convenient way to kind of get down the coast of Florida. If you are, like Amy said, traveling here, maybe doing a land and sea Disney vacation and then taking a Disney cruise, or even just flying into Orlando and doing any type of cruise vacation, I think it's probably one of the more economical options when you get here. So we thought we'd bring you along for the ride, take a look at things, and show you the Brightline. As always, if you enjoy our content here on DVC Fan, this is brought to you by the world of DVC. DVC Resale Market, if you're looking to buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract. Monera Financial, if you're looking at financing that DVC resale contract purchase. And the DVC Rental Store, where you can try before you buy, rent some DVC points, or rent out your own points. So, as Amy said, we are headed down to Miami today for our Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas cruise. And to get there at the time that we wanted to get there for boarding, which is like around 11:30, we decided to take the first Brightline out of Orlando, which departs here at 6:50 a.m. So if we look a little groggy and dreary, that is why. We ended up leaving around 5:30 a.m. to get to the airport here. So the Brightline terminal is just adjacent to Terminal C at the Orlando International Airport. So you will want to put it in if you are driving here. You will want to put that in separately, so not just at the airport. If you are flying into MCO, however, follow the signs for the trams that will take you over to Terminal C and then into the Brightline station. It is very well labeled all throughout the airport, whether you're driving or you're getting off of a plane and then taking the tram over to the airport. Once you actually get here, it's a pretty simple process to check in if you already have tickets. I would highly recommend that you buy your tickets in advance. We'll get to pricing and kind of all of that a little bit later, but you kind of just walk right in, walk up to, similar if you've done a metro station or anything, tap your ticket at the turnstile. It'll open, you'll walk through, you'll put your luggage and bags on a little conveyor belt that just goes through and scans your luggage. Not as intense as like regular TSA security or something like that. And then in terms of yourself, you're going to walk through a scanner that's very similar to the touchless scanners that are now throughout all of the Disney properties. And then you're in the main terminal area and just kind of waiting for your train. They've got a cute little gift shop area where if you want a little souvenir from Florida or you need to grab a snack or something, you can grab that at the market. And then there's the Mary Mary bar, which is just a nice little bar and lounge where you can get a snack, a bite to eat, a drink, and just kind of relax. Also, something that we did not do for our train ride is the premium experience, which also includes the premium lounge area. So that is an additional charge, gets you some additional benefits on the train, but also gets you the premium lounge access here in the terminal area as well. But we decided we're not going to be here in the terminal all that long. It is about 6:30 now, so we've only got about 20 minutes before the train actually departs. So just hanging out here. There's a very, very nice, relaxing general area. The area behind me here is actually Terminal C itself, so that just gives you perspective as to how close you are. But we're going to get ready here and board the train soon.
We're sitting here and we're just waiting for the train to take off. I don't know if that's the right word. It's not an airplane. But one of my concerns was that my luggage would be too heavy. So on the website it says 50 pounds, 29 inches tall, or actually I think it was 28 and ours is 29, so ours is a little bit big, and my suitcase almost weighs 60 pounds. There is nobody weighing suitcases here. As long as you can pick it up and put it in the scanner, which Paul did. Those scanners are huge. You could fit huge suitcases in there. There is no problem. So we brought our luggage on. It's an announcement. So we brought our luggage on, no problem. As long as you handle it yourself, I don't think there's any issues with the size or weight of your luggage. And there was a spot for us to put it once we got on the train. You do want to get on as early as possible because there's only a limited space for large luggage. If you have like a carry-on type size or something that's not quite as big, you can easily fit it overhead. There's plenty of overhead space. So just some things to keep in mind. We did not check our luggage. We didn't pay for it. It was free. We carried it on. We handled it ourselves. You're allowed to have, I think, 2 carry-ons. So I took my suitcase and my backpack as my 2 carry-ons. And these aren't carry-on size. These are full-size giant luggage. we are all settled in our seats. And something I would keep in mind, we haven't quite figured out yet if it does a loop or how it works, but there are some seats that are going to face backwards. So we chose a table setup where Dan and Jeff are on one side of the table and Paul and I are on the other side. And so Paul and I are going backwards. So if that's something that would make you nauseous, just keep that in mind and do your research just so you can pick the appropriate seat, because you do choose your seat when you book. I don't know if Paul mentioned this earlier, but the pricing, we originally thought that it was pretty expensive, and so we were going to drive to Miami, but there are deals and promo codes and different types of savings occasionally. So if you continue to look and keep track online, you can see when the price goes down. We ended up getting a deal where if you purchased 4 tickets, it was basically like half the price. So that's something to keep in mind also. And then we bought the Smart fare, which is basically like the base price fare. And there was a premium when the premium was a lot more expensive. And when comparing the premium and the Smart fare, we honestly feel like what comes with the premium isn't really worth all the extra costs. There's a premium lounge. It looked fine. It didn't look that much exciting compared to the lounge that we had, included. The seating is perfectly comfortable for us and much more comfortable than any airport seat we've ever, done in coach. So the premium seats look a little bit bigger, but not much. Again, we didn't pay for our luggage. We carried it on, and it was free. And the premium does come with snacks and drinks, but we're getting ready to board a cruise, so we are fine on that. If we want something, we'll just buy it off the menu. You can get a parfait for like $4, so not that bad. But it came out to $89 per person round trip. So we thought that was pretty good, because typically you're paying about that much per leg. So finding deals and promo codes will help you reduce that price.
So we are cruising. We are going pretty fast. I will admit it's a little faster than I thought, but it's good. So the seats are surprisingly comfortable. We've got some nice headrests here that can kind of go either way. So armrests go up and down. The seat actually reclines.
Like an inch?
So no, actually, it's like it's far. Like this is all the way up, and then it goes down pretty far. So much comfortable than just standard airline seats. And then we've got lots and lots of outlets here for charging USBs as well. And then if you need a little bit of extra room for anything here, this guy pops out. And there's some charging ports here, plugs as well. So really comfy. We've got a light up here. If you have to look at anything or need some extra light in the night. So far so good. Oh yeah, and the shade. Shade comes down. For those of you that don't like looking out the window, or like sunlight.
And snacks. Although I know we're about to board a cruise and there's all kinds of food. I'm kind of hungry though. I'm either going to get the combo, $8, you get an orange juice and a parfait. I was eyeing up the turkey sandwich, but I think I'm going to hold off on that. Also, if you want something to drink, there are pretty good selection of alcohol.
So the snack cart just came by and we did some damage. I think all told this was like $54. But just to kind of go around the room, Dan ended up with a filthy Bloody Mary, which is like this little packet of Bloody Mary mix with a Tito's vodka. Amy ended up getting the morning breakfast option,
I think
which
it was called Sunshine.
Sunshine
I might have
something,
made that up.
which comes standard with a yogurt parfait and orange juice, but you can choose to swap out the beverage if you want coffee, or Amy opted for a cranberry juice. I ended up going with a coffee and a turkey sandwich because nothing says breakfast like a cold turkey sandwich. And Jeff is starting early here this morning and went with a South Beach Brewing Company light ale.
Yep. And then
And a blueberry muffin. Yeah. So all that told, $54. And we were told by the lady that was bringing the cart through, on the leg of the trip from Orlando to West Palm Beach, they will come by twice, and then from West Palm Beach to Fort Lauderdale to Miami, they will only come by once each time. So we're going to enjoy our breakfast snacks and keep on going down the rail.
Something we want to mention is that the train, being very new, has really good accessibility. So there are seats designated that have, kind of like wheelchair access. The bathroom is very accessible, friendly, and there's even like a button you could hit if there was an emergency. It's located closer to the floor, so there's just lots of little things like that. There's also little icon on the screen, so there's little TV screens. They're kind of vertical. They're not real wide TVs, or not real big, I guess, but they have little icon that tells you if the bathroom is occupied or not. So that's really helpful too.
going south. Whole trip's going south.
We made it to West Palm Beach. Dan and I found a little stool bench area right outside the bathroom here and right by the door. It is a quick 2-minute stop at West Palm Beach. We're assuming that that's based off of like what they know in terms of the number of passengers getting on. There was only one person that actually loaded into our car so far, and we are coming up on 2 minutes. So I imagine that the doors are going to close very, very soon, and we will be headed next stop for Lauderdale.
Yes.
Yeah. So continuing on the journey. We are at the Fort Lauderdale station now. What do you think so far?
I love it. I just wish it wasn't so expensive. I feel like this time we got a good price, but it just depends. If it was a little more affordable, I think I would take it a lot more often. It's very comfortable. It's very easy. I really enjoy it so far.
It's funny that she says that because I was actually, of the four of us, I was the doubter on price and the one that kind of made us not book this for the better part of 6 months of talking about it because of the price. But I've you get stuck sometimes as a local thinking, oh yeah, I could drive there in 3 hours. And yes, this is definitely more convenient than that, cost-wise, probably around the same amount of money when you think about gasoline, when you think about parking at the port, which is ridiculously expensive. And so when you weigh the options, it basically, I think, equals out in terms of cost. But I think coming from a perspective of someone that is traveling to Orlando and then trying to get to a cruise port, or traveling to Miami and then trying to get to Orlando for a Disney trip after, it is highly affordable. Like it is definitely a very affordable option, because in those situations, your only alternative is going through the process of renting a car, and then you've already got that expense, and then you've got a bunch of other expenses, like I already mentioned. So as this lady talks over me, I do think that like if you are from out of town, it is a worthwhile expense.
Yeah, and it's definitely more relaxing than driving yourself. Probably a lot safer. The views are pretty. There's, we drove by like a baseball field and people were playing baseball and we drove over water. So lots of pretty views. Oh yeah, like right there. It's so pretty out. Well, now it just looks like the jungle, but we had some water a minute ago with boats.
Jeff, Dan, how's your ride going?
I love it. I wanted to do this from day one. Again, I will go with the team. Yes, it's expensive, but the fact that we were able to we were fortunate enough to be dropped off at the station, so we didn't have to pay to park at the airport.
Yeah.
So to know that once we were dropped off there, getting on here, our next stop is Miami, and we're there. I like that aspect. Yes, it's pricey, but it's been fun. There's bathrooms. You have to go to the bathroom. You don't have to stop. You don't have to take your car. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about traffic. So yeah, I like it.
And it's fun. There's not a lot of waiting either. It's like you don't have to get there early and get in line and wait in line and get on. I mean, this thing is like on time. We got to the station, probably 45 minutes before we left, and we got right in. We sat for 20 minutes, got on,
Got a coffee.
got a coffee. As soon as it was time to board, 10 minutes later we were going. It was very, very quick. Get down, go. There's not a lot of waiting like there is in airports.
40 minutes was probably.
If you don't want a coffee, you could probably do it in 20. Arrive at the station 20, and you're going by 20. Yeah. So.
We are passing the Fort Lauderdale Airport. Get to see all the planes. We saw a couple coming in.
We are off the Brightline now. We got into Miami probably about 5 minutes early, so just keep that in mind. They are very efficient in terms of the timing of the trains running, and we made great time getting down here, smooth out of the train, and then we are now waiting for an Uber to get us over to the port. And I think we paid about $16 for an Uber. So just keep that in mind, because I know the premium fare comes with kind of free transportation to the port. So you just kind of want to vary that based off of the expense. Obviously, there's probably surge pricing depending on what time you end up coming here. But I think $16 is really reasonable to get to the port from where we're at. It's only like 5 minutes away.
I just want to say, this is my suitcase. It is the large away suitcase, so it's 29 inches tall. So it's a pretty big suitcase, and it weighed like 56 pounds when we weighed it. And so I brought that, and I brought my backpack, and we did not pay for any luggage. So those counted as our carry-ons as long as we handled them ourselves, and we got them on the train. And you just want to make sure you get there in time so that you can utilize the luggage racks that are for oversized luggage, because they're a limited amount.
We're not going to kind of end this review here, so we are going to pick back up when we come back, because I think it's good to just compare two different trips, one coming from Orlando down to Miami and then Miami back to Orlando. So we'll see you guys in 7 days when we head back up to Orlando on the Brightline.
A week later, we're back. We're at the Brightline station in Miami, and oh my goodness, this isn't a review of the cruise, but the Icon was so amazing. But anyway, we are waiting for our train, and everything was so seamless getting off the cruise ship and getting our luggage and getting our ride share. literally was so fast and easy that we've now realized that we booked such a late train. Our train's not till 10:50. It is 8:48, so we have a while to wait. We did check to see if there was a possibility of switching to an earlier train. Unfortunately, the pricing is a lot higher to do that, like last minute pricing. So it would be around $350 for the four of us to switch to an earlier train. So that's kind of a bummer. I wish that there was a way, to make it like an even trade. Because if there's room. But anyway, that's all right. We're gonna hang out in the station. There is some little places. We're sitting at a place called Joe the Juice. It's like a coffee and juice bar, and it's good. I've got it's called Pick Me Up. It's strawberry, banana, and apple. Very good, little frosty juice here. Paul's just got a coffee, but we're just sitting here hanging out and waiting for the time to get on our train. Station is very calm this morning. Not hectic or anything like that. And Paul took a little footage of the Miami station. It's very pretty, very nice here. It was only about a 10-minute ride in our Uber from port to the station here. So super seamless, super easy. But we'll keep you updated once we are on the train, just to show you how everything goes on our ride home. All right, without being too invasive, the scanner here in Miami is so much smaller than the one in Orlando. Right there, I thought for sure that our luggage was not going to fit. And I told Paul, I looked at him and I said, we're going to have to check our bags. But we gave it a shot, and I could not believe that our huge suitcases, they're 29 inches fit. And so you can see this big suitcase going in, and it's fitting just fine. So even if it looks like it won't fit, our luggage is very large. So just to give you an idea, again, this is all of our stuff with Jeff and Dan. But that's my suitcase. That's Paul's suitcase. They're 29 inches tall. And honestly, my suitcase is probably about 60 pounds right now. It was 56 on the way down. It is. I bought 5 shirts and 2 spare jerseys, so it's heavy, and they are not weighing things as of today, April 20th, 2024. That's not saying that they aren't going to start weighing in the future, but not for now.
Pretty sure we slept most of the way back.
Well, you did.
I at least slept most of the way back, but the Brightline was uneventful on the way back from Miami up to Orlando. It felt a little longer, but I think that's just because we're kind of ready to be home at this point. But the ride was no different. Had the snack train that came through. If you wanted, Amy got, what'd you get to eat? Some sort of ciabatta
sandwich.
Italian sandwich.
The sandwiches are prepackaged, a little soggy. They're okay if you're hungry, but you can bring food, so that's also an option.
$1 million question: would you do the Brightline again?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're both in agreement that just in terms of convenience and everything, it is a very, very efficient way to either get from Miami up to Orlando. Or vice versa, if you're headed on a cruise like we were out of Miami. So there you have it. That's our review of the Brightline here. And now we have a wonderful hour-and-a-half drive home until we can see our doggies, which we are very excited to see. So if you enjoyed this content, please hit that thumbs up button, like and subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel, and also follow along in the conversation on dvcfan.com and in the DVC Fan Facebook group. We'll talk to you guys later.